never come back. She's gonna break free. The way she loves to laugh. But I was thinking, how could I get some of that? Girl, I think you're poison if you feel the cold. You make me crazy, baby, don't let up. But if I'm falling, I don't want to stop. I give up everything I have. Thank you very much. Remember, if you get chilly and if it gets breezy, then you get chilly back there. Just you put your hands in your pants. Got my hands in my pants and I need to dance.
It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34.
Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28, 1998, and if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started. And I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, you know, we're at the very end. And then when Roy passed.
Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, Rashawn has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. What up, Detroit? Don't forget to hit that like button, folks. let's get started. Okay, so we got two people that are going to be on tonight. Looking forward to both of them coming on. Both of them have been on the show before. So this is the set list, the first Proudest Monkey opener of the tour. First time it's been an opener since 2012, December of 2012. We have recently tour debut, Sugar Man Liberation. We're gonna ask both callers about Sugar Man. We have Rye Whiskey Two-Step Encore. So the encore is being mixed up a little bit. I'm glad that Something to Tell My Baby is out of that encore. That is.
Stop. Whoa. Whoa there. Okay.
So I'm glad because that was. I don't know. I just Something to Tell My Baby is it's a great song for the difficult things in the world, but it's not meant for a full band. It's not meant for a full band show. That's something you do at a benefit, like he did with CNN, or you do some at a quieter event. That's when you want to play that. So I think it's good that they got rid of that. The windows didn't work last year because again the crowd was too loud. Beautiful song about the pandemic, an emotional song for many people. A lot of people have been through so much with the pandemic, but those type of songs just aren't mixing well. Greg says no Bob Seger shout out. All right. Yeah, Big Sean. Yep, I was playing some Big Sean, Aaliyah, some Jaguar. There's so many legends from obviously Motown stays out there. This is the set, but let me stop talking. What we're gonna do, we're gonna call Tony C, who's right in the chat right here. As Kaju Basement Tony C. We're gonna actually call him. He's having issues with the link. So we're gonna hit him up on the phone. Let us know if you guys can hear him. What does Luke say? The Guardians and Twins are in the 11th inning. Okay, best of luck to your Cleveland Guardians, Luke. In extra innings. Let's see. Give me one moment. We're gonna call Tony C, and we're gonna ask him about this show, and because that's what's important. I wasn't there. I've been to the last two, so I was able to give my reactions, but I'm not here. So we want to hear from someone who was there, and we'll go from there. Let's see. All right, let's hit him up here.
Hello.
Hey, Tony, how you doing?
Oh man, it's so hot over here. That's where I'm going to start tonight. It is just a record hot night in Michigan tonight.
Wow. So what was the temperature here for tonight?
Well, by the time we got to the venue, which was at like 4:00, it was 98 degrees. And I had just got back from Orlando. Well, I've been home for one day. I went to Florida for a week. And when I got off the plane, it just felt like we didn't even leave Florida. It's got the same weather feel as it does down in Florida right now. It's just really hot. It's still like 90 degrees right now.
Wow. Hey, folks, it's 90 degrees, and Deer Creek is looking like it's going to be hot as well. So the Midwest is getting some Florida weather. Tony C coming back from Florida just to have the same weather. Now, with this weather and the heat, how did this impact? Did you see any fans passing out, anything where the heat was getting to people?
No, everyone was hydrating pretty good. They lifted the water bottle restriction on the way in because they were saying, they were kind of telling you could only bring closed water bottles, but we were waiting at the gate and we heard over the radio them say, forget the water bottle restriction. Let people bring in water. They got to stay hydrated. So that was a good move by Pine Knob tonight. And no, I didn't see any issues. We did see 3 baby raccoons climbing down a catwalk during the break between the first set and the encore.
Bruh.
So,
Wow. Okay.
all the crowd turned around and they were all filming the raccoons. No, well, because the band wasn't even on the stage. They had just finished the set, so I thought that was interesting.
Oh, wow. So you got a mischievous case of the raccoons. And so tell us about this set. What did you think about the show?
Well, probably not my favorite set list, a unique set list. I don't think I ever heard Sugar Man before. That was pretty cool live. I like this, and there was some cool Dave speak tonight too. He told some cool stories. Sugar Man was cool. The standout of the show tonight, though, was how good it sounded. It was amazing. It sounded so good. Dave's vocals were amazing. His guitar sounded, I mean, you could hear it the whole time. It was just, I went to Blossom too, and I got to say the sound here was a day and night better to me.
Wow. And so Sugar Man, what I remember of the song, it was in 2014 during the 2 sets, in 2015. In the acoustic set, I got sick of it after a couple of plays. It was cool for one show, but they played it a lot. Was it acoustic? Was everyone else playing around Dave? What did it sound like as far as live?
I believe it started acoustic, and then the band kind of like slowly phased in.
Okay.
It was very. I don't know. I'll have to go back. I actually recorded some from it. I'd have to consult it again. But yeah, it was really neat. I remember after the song ended, I told myself, yeah, that was a neat song. So I have to listen to it again.
Okay. And this is the first Proudest Monkey opener since 2012. What was the crowd reaction to a song that soft opening up a show?
They liked it. The crowd hadn't fully filed in yet, so people were still finding their way to their seats, and they started right at 7:40, so it was pretty much, I consider that being on time for them, because they're never going to start right at 7:30.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a very, very, very soft song. It's not my favorite song. It's pretty cool, but I like something like One Sweet World a little bit better to open a show.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think it would be pretty weird having that open. It's such a low key song, like where you said One Sweet World. It's quiet, but it's like this song about being out in nature and let us sleep outside. So yeah, it is. Yeah, Proudest Monkey is very, very different. We have.
And then he went into Satellite too,
Yes.
right?
Yep. So it's Proudest Monkey in the Satellite. That is a common segue. You had that, and then you had that segue, which is common, and then you had so much to say. Anyone seen the bridge too much? How do you like that little trio? They call it a trio or triplet. How do you like that run?
Oh, that's the time to dance right there. I love that part of the show. You gotta get moving. And with how hot it was today, man, after that I was like needing a lemonade,
Yeah, and I don't blame you. So yep, so you get that. You get
If you can't dance to too much, then you just can't dance. That's just how it is.
That's a great say. That's a great quotable right there. It is definitely it's definitely a high energy trio there that they have anytime it comes to the live show. And
they were just so tight tonight, though. It just sounded so great. they really had great energy. Pine Knob's been there for 50 years, and Dave's well aware of it, and he really gives that place. He really gives that place the props that it's due. I mean, not many venues have a 50-year run, you know.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of the amphitheaters, you have Deer Creek is a little, Deer Creek goes back to the 80s, and that's kind of ancient. You have Meriwether Post Pavilion, which is up there in age as well, but most of them were built in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s. There, and recently makes its tour debut. How did you like that song, and how did the crowd like recently?
There were people around, but like high-fiving each other and just going nuts when they started playing it, because I mean, it must have been on a lot of people's lists, you know. I mean, you don't know how many shows people have been to without getting it.
Right.
So it was awesome. It was fantastic. It got everybody moving, and I love the lyrics to that song.
Yeah, it's a classic song that in this modern era it's not always a guarantee in the set list. Like when they only back in the day when only so many songs, it was played a lot. But recently it's not as guaranteed there as far as being played. And right. And I see Jessica and Wayne. We'll get to you guys in a second, but they were able to connect. That's going to be our next guest. And so Tony, you have the back end of this set. So after that little triplet, you have Madman's Eyes, Samurai Cop towards the end of this set. What did you think about those songs, Madman's Eyes and then Samurai Cop back to back?
Well, Madman's Eyes is always awesome. You get that dark DMB. I think that is my favorite DMB, is when you got that Egyptian sounding dark kind of feel, like when they bring Squirm out, or if they bring Madman's Eyes out, or both of those songs kind of hit the same. It kind of hit the same trigger for what you're trying to get. It's a good contrast to some of the softer stuff that's in there that you see in the set list. Yeah. Samurai Cop, people love that song. Like, it's not my favorite, but I always like seeing people react. It always gets a lot of people really excited. And the visuals on the lights rig for Samurai Cop this year are just stunning. It was just really well done. That stood out as like really the best use of the visuals tonight was Samurai Cop.
Interesting. And yeah, it's a song that I think people connect to. And like for me, it's not one of my favorite. I liked it when it first came out. I loved how the reverb on Dave's guitar. He had his electric guitar, and he was using the baritone, and he used his acoustic, and he was using his Gibson. He has his Gibson Les Paul Jr. that he uses now. So it's not my favorite. I think it should have stayed in 2018, 2019, but it does get the crowd reaction. That's something we preach on this show. That there's certain songs that don't they don't necessarily, for us, hardcore fans or fans who may like a lot of deep cuts, we may not like it, but it does get the crowd going. So you have Gray Street and then Break Free. Let's start with Gray Street. How was that received with the third verse at Pine Knob?
Well, they did it last year too. I was there last year.
Okay.
And that was actually my first ever DMB show. And wow. When I saw that third verse, Gray Street, I had to pick my mind up off the ground because I was just throttled. I was so that actually made me want to go to more DMB shows, and then that's just led me to where I'm at right now. Gray Street is an absolute crowd favorite.
That is very interesting, and that's awesome. And I think that's a great thing to showcase how one song with one modification can take a fan at the first show and go forward. And I kind of can attest to that. my first show having the Stone opener. That's what made me. You would not have. I really, maybe I would still be on here, but when you have something like that, a Stone opener, Gray Street, just with that third verse as a permanent change, which had, since '02, it had not had the third verse. So the entire life of the song, um, you know, as an official Busted Stuff song, it was pretty much mostly not third verse. Now it's back. It started in 2000. It was a whole different like freestyle of lyrics, and so that's awesome. And then talk about Break Free. Was this your first time seeing this song?
Absolutely first time seeing Break Free. Didn't they not play it for like 6 years or something like that?
So the history of Break Free, and we'll pull this up here the all time. It it was it was not it was played in 2018 once. And actually, it was played in Columbus, Ohio. This show was a show that, like, this is where I know you went to Columbus last year, right?
Yeah, I was at the
Right.
Columbus show. Yep.
So just to give you backstory, they played at the Ohio State University at Value City Arena at the Jerome Schottenstein Center at the time. Now I think it's just Schottenstein. But they played at that show. They played Kill the King, which was hadn't been played in forever. They played Sweet Emotion, which is that cover hadn't been played since 2013. This is from 2013 to 2018, it hadn't been played. They played Sleep to Dream Her. Now that song, again, another rarity. And then Break Free was in the encore at the E1 spot. Imagine the E1 spot, typically a quiet song. They played Break Free. So the show you went to last year, where we actually called you, a lot of people went to the show based off of the 2018 fall tour, where this was the opener of the tour of this like very small fall tour for Come Tomorrow. And they had all these things. So that was the one-off in 2018. Now, just going back further, in 2016, it got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It got 8 plays in 2016. And then before that, 2011, there was a caravan set up. So they had these big festival type. They had like David Gray, Humphreys McGee. All these acts were opening up for D&B. It was like a festival. And they only did a couple shows that year. But they played it 3 times there. But really, the only year it's gotten a lot of play is 2006. And as we look to Toronto, the first Break Free live was in Toronto, June 13th. So what you got today and what I got on Saturday, this is unusual. People have gone to hundreds of Dave Matthews Band shows, and they may have not gotten Break Free.
Wow. Yeah, that's, and I feel very lucky. When I start looking at like these 7 shows that I've been to, I mean, I'm just so locked in with this band. It's just so much fun doing this. And like, even tonight, like, I wasn't like so worried about what they were going to play. I was just happy to be at another Dave show,
Absolutely. And that's really what this is about. I felt that this weekend. You guys got it too. We got it. Louisiana Bayou Closer. You guys got that.
This is. I was waiting for you to bring it up. Man, I gotta agree to disagree with you a little bit on this one, because they got nasty with that tonight, and I was dancing my ass off. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was fun, man. I liked the Bayou tonight. I did.
But you know what? I'll say this. I cannot deny that they got the crowd moving in Mansfield, and I love the jam. I just think the verses are the biggest waste of time ever.
Yeah, no, you gotta get through it a little bit, but the jam you got Buddy standing up, and he's in unison with Dave, and Dave's looking over at the horn section and back to Carter, and you got Stefan getting down too. It's just oh man, it's a beautiful thing when you see it. It really is.
Yeah, and that's why I think it just should be the jam. But yeah, that song is a showcase. It's only been played 3 times this tour. And again, I'm against it being played, but even so, I can't deny how it gets the crowd going and how high energy it is. Talk about the encore. We have Rye Whiskey into Two Step. How did you like that encore?
Amazing. I'll take Rye Whiskey all day. I've got it 3 times out of my 7 shows that I've been to. They opened up Blossom last year with it, and then tonight's was in the closer in the first slot, and they did the same thing. It was essentially the same closer as Blossom, right? Rye Whiskey into Two Step.
Let's take a look here. I'm gonna go to the. You're talking this year, or you're talking last year?
This year at Blossom, I believe.
Let's take a look.
Rye Whiskey Two Step.
Yeah, you got the same encore. Yeah, you got the same encore as I didn't even. That's a good way to. That's a good find. Yeah, Blossom
because
had
you
the
could
same
go. You
encore.
could go a while and not get either of those songs too.
Right. Two Step had a hiatus. Rye Whiskey's only been played 74 times, and most of those were in 2009 when it kind of was one of those heavy rotated songs. Other than that, it hasn't gotten as many plays over the years, but it came back in 21 for a little bit, and it's back. It's got 4 encore appearances. It's only been in the encore this year. It hasn't been anywhere else except that encore there for this year. And it did open a couple of shows, as you mentioned, Blossom, and I believe this was Denver. Let's just check a look. Or no, SPAC. Oh, SPAC. That's what it was, SPAC. So SPAC and Blossom last year it opened. This year it closed Blossom. It started the encore, and then it started the encore again tonight. Any other final thoughts? Are you going to Deer Creek Alpine? Any of that?
Well, I gotta do some hashing out with my boss tomorrow, but I might try to swing Deer Creek this weekend. It's up in the air. I'm not cutting it out, so it's probably a long shot. But and if I do it, I'll definitely have to just grab some like lawn tickets and just be happy about that, you know.
All right, and hey, I will be there, so I will definitely hit you up, and we'll have to catch up there if you go. But I understand. Listen, this stuff is hard. I'm planning a wedding and doing 10 shows, so I understand logistics of challenges of trying to get stuff done, and it's not easy.
A couple of interesting things happened today. Well, one, I'll start with the posters. They didn't have the tour posters out until after the show.
Wow.
So I was like, we actually got to the gate at like 4:00, and I got to see the whole warehouse raffle go down and how they did that. And I'm doing all that next year. I'm getting the warehouse tickets. I'm going to do a show in the pit. I'm going to plan it out like even a little more like deeper and early. That way I have like I want to watch a show from the pit. I want to, potentially get a holofoil poster, like all this like little stuff that like you can totally do if you're on your game,
Yeah. And tell us about this poster. We have it up here. This poster, everyone was messaging me about, oh, I wish this was at Hartford. I wish this was at, Charleston. I wish this was at this venue that they went to. Did you even see the poster? Did you see people really trying to grab this poster?
Well, yeah, because I'm always checking on the Gorge crew, because they'll have the poster up at like 3:00, like every day of the show. So, and I noticed there was like an unusual amount of like comments on it. I guess it sold out like on the website in like 3 minutes, and people are going nuts trying to get it.
Now, at the show, did you see any lines or people kind of scrambling for it?
I didn't, because I was like one of the first people in. They let the warehouse people in, and then I had just been waiting right there at the gate. So when they opened it up, I had one in like 4 minutes.
Oh, wow. So you were there, you were ready. So now what time was this that you got this?
They opened the gates right at 6, but we waited there for an hour and 35 minutes. It was in the heat too, so I earned my poster today.
Now,
no doubt.
Now looking behind you, or how was the line behind you when you entered the gates?
It wasn't bad at all. It was not bad at all.
Wow.
And the reason why we got there so early was because last year it was awful. So they must have learned their lesson from last year and just had more entries, or I didn't see a big line at all, but I'm sure at some point there was, but we were in the venue, right when it opened. So I didn't have to deal with any lines at all.
That is interesting. And I've heard this. I've heard that about venues like where there's just not a early, because listen, I went to the Gorge last year. I've been to SPAC where the doors open really late. I think the door, like, it's just crazy. Like, it's really tight. Before, I think it's like 6:30. And I go to Hartford, I've gone to Mansfield, and some venues, sometimes Mansfield, you get in, you just line up, you'll get it. But other times there's a real fight. Madison Square Garden, obviously that's a kind of unique one. Some of these posters like this are hard to find, but I guess, at a midweek show, and I saw this with Hartford, with Mohegan, a midweek show, you're able to get a poster a little bit easier with people trying to come from work or come, get through rush hour, it seems like.
Yeah, and then so on the way out, I just kind of looked in the artist little building there, the merch building, and there were the tour posters. So I was like, awesome, because I didn't have the cassette tape one. I only had the fruit stand. So I went ahead and picked up the cassette tape one on the way out.
Yeah, and this year they're rotated. I was at Hartford and Mansfield. I think I saw all three: the fruit stand, the insects, and the cassette. And just to let you know, Haphazard Press, they did the insect poster with the butterfly and the other insects, and they did the one tonight. So this is a Haphazard Press is going to get some recognition and some respect with the DMB community, because people like the insect one, and they like the one tonight. So it'll be interesting to see.
I got to go ahead and get the insect one eventually, because then I'll have all three, and that'd be sweet.
Yeah, there you go. Any final thoughts about the night, about what you experienced?
I literally, my final thought is the band sounded awesome tonight. It was awesome to go to my 7th show, and awesome and this is just a lot of fun, man. It's anybody who's I don't feel bad for anyone who's not really into DMB, but like people who write them off, they're missing out for sure, I think.
Gotcha. And I have on my screen, I saved the picture, uploaded to Twitter. I blocked off the barcodes just in case, but we have the picture. You got hard stock tickets.
Yep.
Hard stock tickets from the venue, not warehouse, from the venue, which is hard to find. How'd you get those?
Okay, so Little Caesars Arena, where the Pistons and the Red Wings play, has an Xfinity box office that sells tickets for Pine Knob.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can only go and get those stubs the day of the show, and it's only for you have to go in there and tell them that you're having an issue with your email or whatever. Now, I'm going to be 100% completely honest. I am not having any issues with my email right now. I just figured out a way to get some stubs, and I liked souvenirs. So I went down there. I told her I couldn't get into my email, and she kindly printed me out some stubs, which could only be done on the day of the concert. So because it's my home show, I was able to go to the box office, which is only 20 minutes from me, and then go to the show, which was only 30 minutes from me today. So
wow, Tony C is breaking down the game for you guys. And although Little Caesars, that's the arena that had the red seats, and then people weren't going to Pistons and Red Wings games, so they had to turn the seats black.
And that venue is no good. I've been to. I saw Kid Rock there. I've been to a couple Red Wings games. the seats are just packed way too tight together, and the upper bowl is just way too steep. You feel like you're gonna fall out of your seat. It's crazy.
Wow.
Ain't nobody got time
And I
for
used to
that.
go to Joe Louis Arena a lot, to see the
Joe.
Red Wings, and it just doesn't have the same like Joe Louis was the home of the Red Wings.
Right.
It seems like a cookie cutter. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Little Caesars Arena.
Yeah,
just put it that way.
I just was saying my buddy got married this weekend in Detroit. He's from Waterford, Pontiac area. And so he went back to get married. His wife from Michigan too. And he said same thing. He used to, as a kid, he went to Joe Louis Arena and the Auburn Hills for Pistons. And he said the new arena is inconvenient, I guess, and all that. But anyway, I digress. I want to get to the next guest, but just thank you so much, Tony C, for coming on. And let me know if you go to Deer Creek. We'll have to meet up.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Marcus. Have a good night, man.
Take care. Peace.
Peace.
So there you go, Tony C breaking down game. And thank you so much to Jessica and Wayne. We're going to get you guys on in just a second here. That's going to be our second pair of guests. Let's see. And yeah, so there you hear it. So Tony C likes Sugar Man, and I guess we'll have to hear the live version of it to see how it sounds. I did not like the acoustic version of it, but he liked it. And you guys hear again something like a third verse of Gray Street. Tony C, this is his first. He's just started going to shows last year, and now he's hooked. And Tony C, he's driven to Grand Rapids, he's gone to Columbus, and this is his only his second year. But at year one, he was so impressed, he started making those long distance trips that most of us takes a couple years to make. All right, so next up, I'm gonna bring on. They have been waiting patiently here. Our favorite couple from Wisconsin that's went to Michigan, changed time zones just to see DMB. We have Jessica and Wayne. How you guys doing?
Hey, Marcus. Good to hear you.
Good.
Yeah, so we just talked to Tony C. Could you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, what did you guys think of this show?
It was hot. It was really hot. It's a good show. Good. It's the first show of the tour for us. So a good opener for us.
Yeah. Agree.
All right. And the Proudest Monkey opener, was that underwhelming? Was it interesting? What did you guys think of that opener?
What we heard was good, but by the time we got in, they had already started. We waited quite a while to get in. And they must have started pretty close to on time. I was surprised we could hear it right as we were getting in.
Long lines to get in.
Interesting. So yeah, I know you guys heard Tony C said last year he's a New Yorker that has been in Michigan for about over a decade. And he said last year was his first shows ever, and he got stuck in those lines, so he decided to come early. So it's interesting that you guys, experienced that just like Tony did last year. And now for this show, were you guys able to see I know you probably were rushing in, but were you able to see if the poster was still there?
They had a merchandise stand outside.
Mm-hmm.
When we got there early, about 4:30ish, when the lots opened.
Okay.
And I had told Jessica that I was going to go see if they have the poster, because we were kind of hoping for the insect poster for the tour poster.
Yeah.
And when they had there was a line outside, and as soon as I got up there, they probably had about 10 posters left in the stack. But then the girl had brought over another stack of posters. They had the fruit stand tour poster, and then another stack of the mushroom poster underneath it. So, but there was a line.
Okay. And what this was around 4:30?
Yeah, about 4:30.
Yeah, we could see the merch stand from our spot. So he just ran up there real fast, got in line, came back, and then we could not have to worry about having it in the venue.
Awesome. I know that's for a lot of the poster groups I'm in. A lot of people do that. Lock it in their car. Yeah, it's the best way to not have to be anxious as you get there early, get back to tailgating, lock everything up, and then go in. So were you able to get the insect and the torp, like the mushroom, or
They didn't have the insect poster when we were walking out. I seen the cassette and the fruit poster, but they didn't have the insect one there.
okay? And it seems like for I went to Hartford and Mansfield. Some other people went down south. They're playing some games of musical chairs with the posters. So people thought they sold out the first night. Like I think it was the fruit stand. It disappeared, and they brought in the I think it was the insect, and then a couple of days later they brought in the tape. So it's weird. They're really rotating in and out the same posters almost every other night.
Right.
So,
Kind of what it seems like.
yeah. And what did you guys think overall of the sound of the band compared to previous years of you guys going to shows? Hello, can you hear us?
Yep, we lost you
Oh,
for a second.
yeah, I was gonna say it cut off there. What do you guys think of the sound of the show?
It was good from our vantage point. We'd never been to Pine Knob before, but we had pretty decent seats left out from the warehouse for this one. So I thought the sound was really good.
Yeah.
All right, and that's what Tony had said. And the big thing tonight is we have Sugar Man. Did you guys see Sugar Man back in 14 when it was?
This is
I don't think I've seen it before. This was my
Okay.
50th tonight.
Oh, congratulations! So that's a big milestone. And okay, so you guys hadn't seen it. What did you guys think of this performance tonight?
I didn't know what to expect when he was talking and like where I wasn't sure where he's going with it. It was pretty good. I'd have to hear it again to make a good judgment call on it. We had some talkers behind us, so it was a little bit hard to hear for that
Ah,
song.
that is the worst. It started in I don't know if you guys have it in Wisconsin, but it's somewhere in the last 10 years people would go to you would get nice tickets to a sporting event like football, basketball, hockey, and people just started paying a lot of money to talk, and it's transferred into some of these concerts where you invest in these nice seats and you're like, okay, I'm not going to get the lawn chatter. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's just the person behind this guy next to me for Hartford was trying to talk about the violin in the middle of the show. Like I'm like about there's no violin. It's like, listen, I miss violin too, but we're in the middle of like the Stone just debuted. I don't care about the violin being on the piano. Like so, that's unfortunate, but hopefully hope you guys going to Alpine.
Yeah, we're heading to Deer Creek this weekend.
Okay.
And then I'll be at Alpine and then Fiddlers.
Okay. Yeah. So hopefully you guys get it again just to experience it. I will say the consensus, this was the acoustic set in 2014. It kind of got played out because it was just in the acoustic set. It just, and some of that probably was the talking because like the acoustic sets back in 2014, people were kind of casually walking in and out. And so it didn't have enough. It wasn't the right song for the environment, but I'll have to see if it comes back or if I get it one of my shows, how it sounds. Cause I know Tony C said he liked it. The people at home are just more scarred from 2014 when it was in the acoustic set. And I don't know if you guys know this, but the original writer of that song, I think they said Dave mentioned it. He's from Detroit.
Yeah, he
Yeah, he
talked
did.
about that.
Okay. Yeah, someone said that on Twitter that I guess he didn't mention he saw him today. But yeah, so it's a very cool story, but as far as there's a documentary on it, and so interesting he brought it back for that. Now, what would you say your favorite song of the night was?
I am partial to Nancy's.
Okay.
So that was always good. Recently was really good. I was pretty excited when they played that. Um, and the encore was excellent.
Yeah, so we have the rye whiskey into two step, and two step is really making an appearance heavily. Um, did it seem like it was like a 10-minute version or a 20-minute version?
Of two step,
Yes.
um,
About 10.
if it felt of average encore length.
Okay.
It was a lot of dancing.
Okay, gotcha.
About a 10-minute.
Okay. That seems like what they're doing this year. In about 5, 6 years ago, it was 20 minutes, and even Mansfield last year. But I like it like 10 minutes because it gets to the point, and actually the 10-minute versions are more energetic because
Yeah.
they just leave everything out there. So I'm glad that it's been shortened just a little bit. Um, and you still get the effect of that. And what did you guys think of Madman's Eyes? This is a newer song that debuted in I believe it was Ohio, Columbus last year. What did you guys think of that song?
I've seen it a couple times. It's growing on me. I thought it was going to be minarets when he was starting.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last person was kind of talking about some of the similarities there in that
Right.
sound. Um, it seems like the band loves playing that song. They seem like extra super happy to play that song.
Yeah, it's got a lot of energy and the times I've seen it, and it's one of the few newer songs that's that dark. So there's something that's fueling them to play that here. And any other things stand out as far as songs, any moments, anything else?
I'm glad they play for Gray Street. People still get really excited about that, so that's kind of fun.
Yes, yes, it's awesome that it's staying
Like it
around.
goes up. I'm really liking Break Free.
Now, have you in your 50 shows had you heard that song before?
Yes.
Okay, so you've caught in that. All right. Yeah, it's good that it's back. And so we have two songs to me that highlight that I've seen this year that highlight Tim. We have Nancy's and Lie in Our Graves. What do you think about Tim this year as far as how he sounds, what he's doing to kind of fill in some of these what used to be violin parts?
I think he's good. I think it's I guess what I hear in my head or what I'm anticipating, it feels less and less of a whole without the violin.
That's a good point.
I
Yeah.
guess I'm starting to expect the way it sounds now. Um, and it's good.
That you know what, and that's a really good point because I what you just said, I'm thinking about when I heard Nancy's this weekend. I didn't even think about the violin, but the first couple of like the first 2 years of the Buddy Strong era, I was like, okay, this sounds weird. I mean, listen, I'm
Right?
still DMB. I'm we can't change what we can't change, but I think I was programmed to be like, okay, where's that violin? But that's a good point. Now I listen to those songs. I know some people, everyone's different. There are people that are still gonna never. Someone else could like unless there's a violin there, they're never gonna like it, and that's whatever. Listen, do wherever you feel, how you feel. But yeah, when I listened to Nancy's this weekend, it was like, oh, this is DMV. It's this is who they are without, and it doesn't
That's
have
how
to
they
have a
sound.
violin. So
See, that's like it for me because I haven't heard it with the violin because Today was my fifth show today, so it's
Okay.
I haven't, you know what I mean.
I think it's like listening to old live shows. And if you know, like if you're listening to Sirius or you're listening to some live tracks and you aren't really paying attention to what you're listening to, if you know it super well, you can guess like, oh, that's Butch Taylor, or oh, that's Leroy. Like you know that sound, but then I think like now it's like that's Buddy. Like I just you know that sound, and that's just what it is right now.
Yeah, no, that's true. And Wayne, did you get pulled in by your wife to start going to D&B shows? How did you get into seeing shows?
I honestly denied it forever to go with her. And then I figured it was another way for us to connect with each other. So we started going. I think she needed somebody to go with her to like a northerly show in Chicago.
Yeah.
So I went with her. Then we went to Deer Creek last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took her to Rapids after she got back from Fiddlers. So, and then this week our wedding anniversary is Friday, so I was like, well, let's just make a week of it. We'll just go to Clarkston and then we'll go to Deer Creek, and you know.
Awesome. Well, happy anniversary. And I am actually I'm getting married this year, but I'm going to be bringing my fiance next year to shows. So we'll see how that goes if she likes it. She hasn't intentionally listened to Dave Matthews Band. She likes other types of rock and alternative rock, but she's never gotten to Dave Matthews. So we'll see if I can get her into the club or not next year. So,
have her listen to Funny the Way. That's a hooker. That
so
gets you every time.
So that song, Funny the Way It Is, that's one of the songs that really resonated with you?
Well, I really like that song, but our wedding song was I'll Back You Up. So that's like
awesome.
my unicorn that I'm with her. She heard it last year at Fiddlers, but together we haven't.
Okay. Yeah, it is. That song should be played more. I think every time they play You and Me, they should play that song. That song is just amazing. And I was fortunate enough to get it last year. But doesn't get played as much. So hopefully you guys get it. Hey, maybe Deer Creek this year, you guys will get it there. But that's a beautiful song. And it's the first song that Dave wrote for this band. So it's definitely special.
I hope we get it and that there's no talkers.
Yeah,
it's definitely talkers if they don't know it.
I'm telling you. And listen, I get hyped during, like, I'll start saying, yeah, let's go, like at the beginning. But yeah, people talking, it is your seat neighbors will make or break your experience. And I still don't get it. This is not a D&B exclusive thing. I've seen it at other shows. And I just, especially with the ticket prices and the cost of gas, I just don't know how somebody goes to a show to talk outside of the fact that maybe they're just bored and they like the attention. Like some of the college football fans will go there and try to say something crazy to get they say something to the players to get a crowd reaction or so I think it's kind of something like that where someone needs attention, but hopefully there won't be anyone that ruins that experience. And any final thoughts about this show, about the night, about your experience here in Clarkston at Pine Knob?
Super fun night. Glad to be to a new venue. And I hope that the heat is a little less oppressive for the next few shows.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the saving grace is for Deer Creek. It's supposed the lows are in the 60s, but it is supposed to
I'll
be on Friday 89 and Saturday 90.
It was, I think, 99 when we were pulling in to
Wow.
Pine Knob. It's a little too much. I've done a couple of alpine shows that are that hot, and it definitely brings the energy level down a little bit.
Yeah, no, that heat can get to you real quick, and there's no ocean breeze or lake breeze that you get in Indiana or in Wisconsin.
Nope.
So hopefully the forecast does give us some cooler, at least a temperature drop during the Deer Creek show. I will be there myself. So thank you guys for staying up. It's 11:54. Thank you guys for staying up and taking time to talk to us about the show, and I hope you have a wonderful night. Safe travels back to Wisconsin.
All right. Maybe we'll see you at Deer Creek.
Yeah, hopefully. You guys take care.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, bye. All right, so thank you to Jessica and Wayne for being on. Really appreciate everyone that comes on. I know after a show, sometimes you just want to go to bed. Sometimes you want to grab something to eat. Sometimes people go to shows and you may have a little bit of influence of certain herbs, let's just say that, right? Or certain liquid courage. So I really appreciate everyone that comes on this, but it seems like the heat was a big thing tonight. I will say, guys, going to Deer Creek, just please be careful, especially because it's the weekend. I know people go harder on the weekend. Stay cool, drink water, stay hydrated, especially everyone waiting out at the pit, because this heat is no joke. You do not want the heat to take you out, right? You get a pit spot and you're not drinking your fluids and you pass out or something, they're going to have to let you off out of you're going to lose your spot and they may have to take you away. So just please, please, please be careful this weekend, and then we'll have to see what Alpine looks like. It's just too soon to look at the forecast right now, in my opinion. It's too soon. The New York shows, I don't think it's going to be that bad. Plus, Jones Beach is on the ocean, so you'll have the breeze. Ontario, let's see because Toronto is. Let's see what Toronto is. Oh, it's 70. Tomorrow's supposed to be 85. At 80% chance of rain in Toronto. Maybe they get a JTR. It does show a thunderbolt or lightning bolt, so hopefully it does not. The lightning does not cancel it. The high today was 84. They have a heat wave warning and it's 84. Well, oh my gosh, Canada. Come on, Canada. Ontario gets warm. That's weird that's a 84 degrees is a heat wave warning, and Ontario is further south than a lot of the American Northern American towns. Let's see what we're talking about here. Jones Beach will have 50 miles per hour rain. Yeah, they have that wind and they have rain all the time. Shane says, hopefully we get some sweet posters this weekend. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully. I think we did. We'll have to see who the artists are for this weekend. Hey, Brad, thank you for watching. I see you say, hey. Oh, DP Duke, Derek, thank you, Derek, for coming on. Great to see recently pop up again. Yeah, I agree. It's Creek Week, absolutely. And Luke's talking about how the Blossom Lawn is better than the Pavilion as far as the sound. You had mentioned that in your interview. Hi from you. So Andrew says, completely forgot they did a cover of Sugarman. Yes, they did. They did a cover back in 14 and 15. Yeah, it seems so long ago though. That's the thing is the DMB2 sets is just. It seems like it was like centuries ago. But I think that the point Jessica makes is interesting, that if you've been going, this is the key thing. If you've been going to shows with an open mind, your brain is now going to be programmed to listen to this band without a real violin. Yes, I understand some people, it'll never be the same. That's fine. Some people stop going to shows. And again, that is fine. I will never knock someone for not going to shows anymore. Even if you were a diehard fan. I know people that stopped going when Leroy passed. Like, I have coworkers and people that used to be heavy into that, and I wasn't even going to show you. Yeah, I stopped. Yeah, I stopped. Like it is completely. I will never knock someone for. I would never like criticize someone for not going to shows. Things change for people, and there's certain things that are, listen, that pull you away from a certain act, and maybe that pulls you towards another musician or another life experience, or fatherhood or motherhood, or a new hobby that makes you happy. Life is about being happy. If you're not happy at a DMB show, I'm not gonna. And that's why I even talked about people were upset about something in the ward. Not a lot of people, but they were like, oh, like DMB should have got more recognition. I'm like, I don't care. DMB makes me happy. Okay. I don't care. They didn't need an article. They didn't need a bigger stage. Like, I know it was DMB was a odd shoe in for that type of festival, something in the water, which was more of a pop R&B hip hop festival. And you got DMB like the old geezers hopping on stage, but they did it, and they were, some people were there, and some people like DMB that like hip hop and R&B. Right? I like hip hop and R&B. I like DMB. I like Ja Rule and Ashanti and Pusha T, right? So I was it 21 Savage? Wasn't he out there? 21 Savage was 21. I think he was. Shout out to 21 Savage. If he was out there. But they had some guys out there, guys and gals out there, and listen, everyone has their different tastes, but I will say, yeah, my mind doesn't really think about the violin for this thing. So I think that's a good step forward. And
21.
yeah. Oh, so let's talk about this. Now I have video on here from YouTube. Something I noticed being in, and listen, I've only been in the pit 3 times. All right. 2 of the 3 times. Congratulations, Austin Matthews. You won all the trophies except the Stanley Cup, because Toronto's never gonna win the Stanley Cup ever again. What what so this video right here. I wanna pull this up. If you guys see right there, hold on. This is from.
Thank you.
Let's take a look here. But there's a camera. Or I don't know if it's a camera. There's something pointing at the stage. What it is, I don't know. I thought this was interesting. So right there, if you guys look right here where my mouse is, they had one here and they had one on the other side of the state, like the equidistance on the Rashawn side and Rashawn Jeff's side. I don't know what these are. I mean, these could be light. I don't know. It didn't look like light, but it seems like just something interesting to notice. Is this a camera? Is this some sort of recording device? It had some wires attached to it, but just an interesting thing here, because this kind of took me aback. So I don't know what this is. Maybe it's always been here. Again, I'm not in the pit every show, but I thought it was interesting. They had this little this thing right here. If you can see, I'll try to zoom in. No, won't let me. But there were these little even if we go to break free, Let's see. Okay, it's not going to show it, but it is interesting that they had these little set. I mean, there's all sorts of new technology, but I don't know. It could be nothing. Could be nothing. But let me know in the chat if you guys have ever seen this on stage. Like, it just was a weird. And let me see if I can. It just seemed a little weird. Let me check my iCloud. Should have another video. See if I can find one with the. The other thing I noticed at the show was Dave's guitar for Why I Am it's set to the bridge pickup, but it has a little black tape over the where you have the little switch. Let me show you guys. This was another interesting thing. If we zoom in, if you look right there, Dave's this little switch can choose which pickup is highlighted. The middle kind of gets a little bit of both. This is a custom Fender Telecaster or Stratocaster. It's a Strat. I have one here. But it's got the humbuckers that I was telling you about the other show. It's got the humbuckers instead of the single coil pickups, which just means it's little plates, or sometimes you see two of those little coils together, really tight. And he has it set to that. It's like literally it's taped up, which means that right where Dave's hand is, there's another pickup, and it's really getting the sound from there. The sound where that thing is all the way down towards the knobs, that's more of a twangy sound. And when it goes all the way to the other side towards Dave's hand, if the switch is more towards Dave's hands, it gets this top bridge pickup right here. This little guitar 101. It's getting more of that they call that the neck. The neck pickup is right here. The bridge is at the bottom, away from towards the like this part of the guitar. So the bridge pickup is closest to this little metal, these little string holders, and the neck pickup is closest to the fretboard. But I noticed that Dave's custom Strat here has a tape thing where usually it lets you move it freely. So just an interesting observation there as well. A couple of things I noticed from the pit. Maybe I'm a little crazy for looking at these little cameras, and now spoon, stirring my coffee. Let me stop singing. I don't want to lose followers or lose subscribers because I'm singing horribly. That's just what I saw. I don't know. So we gotta stream tomorrow. Stay tuned for that one. We have Toronto. If you are going to Toronto, message me Instagram, ConcertViz34, Twitter, ConcertViz34, right? And from there, I want to try to get some callers for this Toronto show. So if you're going, let me know. It is 12:08, and like I said, I got I got another stream tomorrow. But yeah, just here we are in the show. Shout out to let's see if there's any setlist changes. I don't know if anyone has a set list for tonight. Oh, this was funny too. This was funny. I said before we found out about the poster, I said breaking news. Tomorrow's Dave Matthews Band poster for the show at Pine Knob in Clarkston, Michigan will be a picture of a fisherman dangling a college football playoff trophy on a string over Jim Harbaugh's head. Because Michigan, they cannot win the big game. They've struggled in the struggle is real. They're a once great program that's not done much since 2000. And even before that, there's a little bit of time before their other titles. So, hey, what are you gonna do? Poor Michigan, they can't keep up with these Georgias and Alabamas, and it used to be Clemson. Clemson's not as good anymore. So there we go. We got Jim Harbaugh. He's mean mugging. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on. Everyone, again, thank you for the diehards, the day oneers who've been watching these streams for years. Some of you guys came in recently in the last year, and some of you guys, you just started this year. I appreciate all the support. Hit the like button. Share this with your friends. If your friends want to come on, they're going to a show, let us know. We always can find ways to add people to this stream. Instagram, ConstantViz34, as you see below. Twitter, ConstantViz34. And I actually am trying to get to 1,000 followers. So again, let people know. Follow ConstantViz34 after every show. I do a stream, even if it's hours later, or sometimes a half a day later in very extreme circumstances. But yeah, just let your boy know. Anything you want to see, any comments, any thoughts, feel free to share them in the chat. And again, don't forget to hit that like button, folks. Hit the like button. All right, we're going to end this stream with some Batson sessions. We'll do early home. Someone mentioned that last time. This is from the Batson sessions, that these same sessions from the spring of 2006, session 1. This is where Break Free was formed. So, and also parts of Shotgun were formulated, soprano guitar with the drum track as this stuff. That's my intro for this show. It's your boy ConstantViz34. You guys have a wonderful evening. Take care. Peace. This is Early Home by Dave Matthews Band from the Batson Sessions, unreleased.
Early home to surprise my love and find my love in another's arms. My heart flew from love to rage when I read my love the final bitter page. Still warm though no embrace, her empty eyes on her empty face, and I will still rue the day. Why did I not just walk away? If I had only called to let her know, she'd have had a chance to get him out the door. A simple thing, but it's too late. A moment I've sealed her killer's fate. You could see right through me all the way. Empty eyes from an empty face, and I will live to rue the day. Why did I not just walk away? So we can start again. Right on, go outside the light on me. Still warm, though no embrace. Your empty eyes on this empty face, and I will always rue the day. Why did I not just walk away? surprise, my love.
Convict music. My name is Slim Shady.